Hello guys and welcome back to Sorare Capital. In today's episode we'll be showing you 3 transfers each who we believe will do well in the upcoming season. Also stick around to see the giveaway that we have at some point randomly in this episode. Let's go. Okay, my first pick is Mason Mount. Obviously everyone knows that he's just recently transferred to Manchester United. I feel like he suits United down to a T with the way Ten Hag wants to play. He's going to be in that number 8 role, so he's going to be basically box to box, but more probably attacking. So, back in the day when he was actually a regular for Chelsea, as you can see from all his scores here, he's peaked lots of times, lots of dark greens, 100s all over the place. So that's just my short summary of him. I do feel like he's going to really make Chelsea regret signing him.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
I actually don't think he is going to fit into Manchester United very well.
You don't know ball then, lad.
I think,
he is a brilliant little player.
Excuse me, if you can listen to what I'm going to say.
Ooh, you're hard.
His previous scores are bloody awful and he didn't play quite a lot of games.
Yeah, well, don't forget, like I said, they had Graham Potter and then they had Frank Lampard at the end of the season. Like, no one's going to do good with Lampard. Like, I mean, look at it. It's all red. It's all red. Lost.
Graham Potter was a brilliant manager at Brighton, so there's no reason why he couldn't have done well at Chelsea. He's not really done much for me. I think he's pretty much an average player who is, massive hype for no reason, really.
Oh my god! I hope people, please, if you're here, please get in the comments and tell how much he just has zero ball knowledge. Oh my god! You're saying Mason Mount. Even I, as a United fan, right, knew Mason Mount had talent. I knew he was a good player.
You're a United fan, you see, and you think now he's suddenly this amazing player. It was alright before. I'm not saying he was bad. I'm saying he was alright, but you got to remember the team that he had around him. The team at United, they done it last season. Like, they should have never been in the top 4. They weren't really a top 4 side. So.
All right, well, let's get into your next pick, yeah?
So yeah, I'll pick Tonali. I think Tonali done really well at AC Milan last season. If you just look at his stats, I mean, his scores on here just says it already. I think he'll fit into Newcastle really well, especially under Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's a brilliant manager. Went away, done a lot of training, come back, made Newcastle into a Champions League team. You look at them players at Newcastle from last season, quite a lot of them were in the relegation zone or around the relegation zone the season before. So he's actually transformed them players into becoming a Champions League team. I actually don't think that's a one-season wonder. I think they'll do it again this season. And with Tonali, I think he can improve Tonali even more. And I just think he'll fit straight in. Brilliant player, 23 years old, got a lot of improvement to come, and yeah. What's your thoughts on?
You know what? When you first initially brought this up, I was thinking, no, dead pick. And not because I do not rate Tonali, by the way. I actually really like the guy, and I believe he's top quality. But I don't know what it was when I saw there was a video on Newcastle's Twitter that was him getting off the plane, and he looked so out of place and he looked so awkward and just did not want to be there. And I feel like that is a big thing with foreigners. If they don't feel like they're happy, because it's usually the sun and everything like that, if they don't have all that, then it's they don't feel at home and it's quite depressed. But I don't know if I'm overthinking that, but when I just saw it, I just couldn't see he was like happy to be there. It's almost like Milan said, look, we got a massive fee for you, can you just go and do us a favour? And it sounds like he's just done that. But you have switched me a bit when you did say about Eddie Howe, how he's gelled this bunch of players who were nearly relegated last season, and he made them different. Like, who would have thought Dan Burn would have been a brilliant left back, and Jacob Murphy, and like you've got all these players who's that?
Yeah, Almiron.
Yeah, Almiron. They only bought him from the MLS, I believe, from Atlanta. So I can definitely, if he does hit the ground running, and they've got a steal really for 70 million. I don't know if it was pounds or euros, but I know it was around that 70 million mark. But yeah, I have my reservations. Like I said, if he doesn't feel comfortable at the start, because they have a hard game at the start, they've got at home Villa. As we know, Villa have acquired quite a few decent little players, so they could be within a shout with top 6 this season. But yeah, I don't mind it. Okay, next pick, Sims. As you can see on screen, Sims obviously being at Everton, he's strongly linked at the moment to Coventry, and that's because Victor, I'm going to butcher this, Gyökeres or something like that. He looks like he's going to be moving to Sporting around the 20 million euro mark. Which is a shame because he's actually quite good, but that means Sims comes in pretty much as a starter. Having played last season for Sunderland anyway, he actually did quite decent. So I actually think he'll have a good chance of scoring some goals. I mean, Coventry are quite a good little attacking team. And yeah, that's all I've got to really say on him, to be honest.
Like you said, I don't know much about this player, but from what I see on here, he even though he's breaking in and out of squads of teams, I think he can score quite well at times.
Yeah, and that's obviously why he's £19 at the moment, which will come down because, like I said, he's been heavily linked. If not, he's moved to Coventry, so he will come down in price soon enough, I believe, probably around that £10 mark, but maybe even 12.
It does look like he played well in the Championship for Sunderland. You look at his scores there. So yeah, I reckon actually, if Coventry playing week in, week out, he can become a really good player, really good pick.
And what you also got to remember as well is the utility they'll have to offer, because when it comes obviously Premier League, you've got your 38 games or whatever. In the Championship, you've got 46. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a whole lot more. Then you've still got the League Cups, FA Cups, etc. So they have a lot more utility than what probably someone in the Premier League does, unless you're part of the top 4 or top 6, where you do have your obviously Europa and Champions League. And you're in your conference. So that's my pick.
So my next pick is Declan Rice. I was a bit like humming and hawing with this one because 105 mil is quite overrated. I think he's a decent player. If you look at his previous scores, I mean, look at them. If you go to all and you look at all his scores, oh my god, what a player! But I don't think he's worth 105 mil. But I think he will do really well at Arsenal. I mean, you look at Arsenal as well. Arsenal were a 5th place team, 6th place team. Sometimes they finished below, the top 7. But Arteta come in and transformed the team into becoming title contenders. Now, as a Tottenham fan, I don't like Arsenal, and it does, annoy me that they got Declan Rice. But under Arteta, he will do really well. I think the system suits him perfectly. He likes to get on the ball a lot. Arsenal will have a lot of the ball this season. You look at their percentage stats against 90% of the teams. And I think he'll score as well. I think he'll get some goals. I think he'll do well in the CDM role that they play, centre mid role that Thomas Partey plays, because I've heard that he's going. So Declan Rice will be on the ball. He'll be playing a lot of games and hopefully keeps them high scores up, because I think I'll be choosing him for my Sorare. I don't know what you think, Michael, but I actually think he'll do really well. I mean, if you look, he's doing that well at West Ham, and West Ham were bottom half team, done really well in the Europa Conference, but I mean, who are you playing there? He's like, hardly tough, isn't it?
I think, I don't know what it is. I find it hard, and I sound a bit hypocritical. I feel a bit hypocritical because I just spoke about Mason Mount, and obviously United spent 50 odd million with add-ons, etc. for obviously Mason Mount, who is on his last year of his contract, isn't he? Why I bring it up is because obviously with Rice being on his last year at West Ham, and you go and spend £105 million, like that, he's not. I'm not saying that he's not worth that, but again, I don't think it really matters in regards to Sorare, but in regards to the transfer itself, it just doesn't sit right with me. But him as a player, I would have loved him at United. Yeah, he would have been brilliant. Scores all round, he does really good all round scores. Like, you don't need really a decisive from him. He gets really good AA around him, so you're hitting those 60s, 70s quite frequently because he does dictate and control the game, and I feel like he's going to probably do that even more at Arsenal. But what are you about to say?
When I talk about the best transfers, I'm not talking about the actual price, because
that goes quite heavily into it, doesn't it? If you're paying let's say you went and got Maddison for 120 mil, you're going to say it's a good bit of transfer. It's not. It's rubbish.
I'm on about, so rare terms where, he's not going to cost you 105 mil to actually buy him on the game. But he'll actually do well in getting you good scores. Like, I think he'll get more high scores at Arsenal when they're consistently performing well than he will at West Ham when they're consistently playing poor. Like, they haven't played well this year, West Ham, and I know he's got some good high scores there, but I reckon they'll be even higher. I reckon he'll get hundreds. I reckon he'll get in the 90s, like most weeks at Arsenal. So that's why I chose him as the best transfer. But yeah,
very true. I agree with you. Yeah.
Another one, it is also a very good transfer that he went for 105 million to Arsenal because they got absolutely robbed.
Yeah. I think they get robbed, but I think he, like you said, so rare wise, he does seem like a good solid pick. Like, as you can probably see, as you can see in his last year, he's been stepping it up to a completely different level for West Ham. So right, Pau Torres is my final pick. Basically done to Aston Villa. I actually thought Aston Villa last year were quite, especially with under Unai Emery. I don't get why this guy's so cheap at the moment at just under £10 for a limited. I mean, he does do well. He did do well in a Villarreal that didn't actually do too well last year in La Liga. But now he's going to the place where they are quite defensively solid. I think him and Tyrone Mings can really set a solid foundation as a spine for Aston Villa, and as well as obviously the other signings they've got, like Tillemans. They got a solid spine, so they will do really well. I think even in the Premier League last year they had conceded probably one of the least, I would have thought, up there. That's why I picked Pau Torres. Now he's made that move finally to Villa. I mean, it's crazy what the pulling power of the Premier League is these days, don't you agree? Like Aston Villa and Brentford and just Brighton, you got all these teams linked with such great players, and that's why I believe, leave it in the comments below if you disagree, but that's why I believe the Prem is obviously the best league in the world. Yeah, as I said, solid player, and they got him for like 40 million, which if it was United, Tottenham, Chelsea, would have gone for 70.
Yeah, I may sound a bit hypocritical here as well. I actually wanted Pau Torres at Tottenham. When I look at him going to Villa, I just think, alright, he's played under Unai Emery before.
Yeah.
He's never played in the Prem before. Now, I know a lot of foreign players come to the Prem. Some do really well, but some do really poor. So I think it's a bit like, is he going to set off? And I know I've seen him sound hypocritical after getting Tonali on here as well. But with Pau Torres, is he going to set the ground running straight away? I don't think Unai Emery is the same manager as Eddie Howe, where Eddie Howe can actually, get a poor team going really well.
But when you say that though, like Unai Emery brought, I think, Villa from literally 13th or something and brought them up. Or even lower than that, I think. Like he obviously has done really well, and he has proven with those teams that he can do that.
Like, he's done really well at Villa, but I think Gerrard sort of underachieved at Villa because he had the players where they could actually get into the top half of the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I feel like you said, he's worked with him before, so obviously knows what he wants from him, what he's going to get from him, and as well as he's got the physical stature and nature to suit the Premier League anyway. So.
The only gamble is with getting players from foreign leagues is, are they going to hit the ground running straight away?
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But to be fair, I did want him at Tottenham, so
yeah, no, he is. I know he's a good player. I've watched him quite a few times in the Europa and everything.
You can't deny how much of a good player he is. I mean, stats say it here for himself. And
well, like I said, once he settles straight away, if he does like Tonali, he can be a real game changer for Villa. So he could really reassure that backline.
I mean, do you remember Koulibaly? He was a really good player in the Serie A for Napoli, and I remember links with United wanted him, and quite a few big clubs wanted him. But then he goes off to Chelsea, and to be honest, he didn't actually hit the ground running in his first season. Now he's gone off to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. But then you got someone like Thiago Silva, who's come from PSG and never played in the Premier League before, but hit the ground running straight away and done really well. So,
Well, just to counter that, just before we get into the next scene, I think, like I said, those players are near the back end of their career. Like Koulibaly's 31, 32. I know it's not retiree sort of standard, but that means he can get a good few years out of Saudi Arabia, who are obviously trying to raise the standards of grabbing average good players and trying to buy amazing players like Ronaldo, Benzema, etc., and Kante. But because Torres is, I mean, he's 26, so he's in his peak. You know, that's, I think it's just completely different. You know, so he has really something to prove. He has if he does well this year or next year, no doubt Chelsea and stuff like that, when Thiago goes or Fofana doesn't reach his standards for the money they paid, they will reach out to someone like Pau Torres and they will grab him for 70, 80 mil, not a doubt. Right, what you've all been waiting for, the giveaway of good old Michael Boxall. Remember, guys, I needed everyone to like and follow the channel, and also proof that you had actually subscribed to the YouTube channel. So thank you to everyone who has done that. So yeah, let's get into it now. Right, here we are. Are you ready, Dan?
I'm ready.
Oh, what do you think? What colour do you think it's going to land on? Just a little game between us. I think red.
I'm going to go for light blue.
A light blue. Oh, saucy. Right. Thank you for everyone who's been following in and has come this far into the video and who has followed all the requirements. So best of luck to you all, and just let you know, this will not be our only giveaway. We will be doing another giveaway. Yeah, let's go.
Good luck.
Okay, here we go. Click the spin. Oh. Okay. Ooh. Hey, well done. Ad Beauvoir. I probably killed it, but
Ad Beauvoir.
Ad Beauvoir. Congratulations, my friend. I will be contacting you on Twitter if you've not left me your Sorare club name. So I will be in contact with you probably an hour after the video has been put up. Well done, guys. Thank you very much.
Right, and so my last player, I'm going to go for James Maddison.
Wonder why.
Bear with me on this one. And it's nothing to do with, well, it is to do with going to Tottenham, but it's not really that. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
What a steal. What a steal from Tottenham. Now, me as a Tottenham fan, Daniel Levy winds me up a bit because we let so many good players slip away. And, you know, Tottenham want to, as us fans, we want them to do well, we want them to win. But this player, look at them scores for a poor Leicester side. Yeah, the last two seasons they have been absolutely abysmal. And look at that, 100, 96, 90. Oh my god, 40 million Tottenham bought him for. 40 million.
I've got a button already because, I mean, 40 million, no doubt it's a steal, but let's remember he did go down a division, so I mean, you had to get him for that cheap, if not maybe 50. I think 40 is still a good buy. In regards to his scores were good and are good. Remember right, because I had him in my FPL, I don't know about anybody else, he kept being injured at the wrong times.
You literally got that completely wrong, because I see on here he's got 100 a couple of times there, right, in the last season.
No, his last season here, matey, he's got 80, 82, 80. The previous season before that was, yeah, he got quite a few hundreds.
4th to the 8th of November 2022, last season, 100. 7th to the 11th of, oh no, sorry, wrong one. 30th to the 4th of October 2022, he scored 100. We've got here 16th to the 20th of September, when Leicester lost 6-2 to Tottenham, he scored 91. Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, I forgot we had a World Cup between there.
We did, yeah, and that's why he didn't play. Okay.
Well,
so
okay, whatever.
If you actually look at his scores, he played for a poor Leicester side, and he's getting the scores of 100. He's lost games like 6-2, and he's getting the scores of 100. Yeah, all right. He didn't play through the World Cup. Don't know why Gareth Southgate didn't choose him. I mean, it's a bit
it was a pity pick because there's everyone on social media and every English fan wanted to take him instead of crap people like Maguire and all his stuff. But that's another story for another episode, I'm sure.
But you know what I mean? Like the stats say it already. He's a very good player. He's an absolute steal. Him and Kane are going to look absolutely deadly, you know, up in the top there. Under Angie Postecoglou as well. I just think that honestly, this signing has been the best signing of the transfer window so far. Yeah, all right.
It's not been many.
You said, yeah, all right. Leicester had to get rid of him for 40 mil. Who was still under contract? They didn't have to get rid of him at all. They could have kept him. And for 40 mil, that's still cheap for a player of his calibre.
Maddison was never going to stay. Maddison was never going to stay. He's too good for the Championship. But I do agree that at 40 mil, it is good. And I can imagine him with Kane ripping it up. I really can. It's just your defence is shambles. But again, another episode for another day.
That's being sorted out at the moment. So next episode or another episode, whatever, we'll be bringing up the centre backs that we're bringing in. But this in itself, and plus, you want to look at it from a Sorare point of view as well. If he's getting them scores at a poor Leicester side that just got relegated and finished second from bottom or something, then you think about, you know, Tottenham side who are under new management, yeah, again, but an attacking manager this time and not a defensive manager, where we could actually, you know, do as well as what we did under Pochettino times. I mean, we could do as bad as Mourinho, but even still, you know, you're getting in the top 7, top 8, whatever in the Premier League.
Where does Spurs finish again this season? Because is they in the Europa or are they Conference?
Got no Europa, got no Conference, got no Champions League. So for this season, we're just solely focusing on the Premier League, obviously along with FA Cup, League Cup. So, and normally teams do really well like that. You know, you look at Chelsea, they finished 10th one season, then won the league the next, won the Champions League. They also, you had Arsenal who the season before finished, then they finished 5th, and then they got knocked out early in Europa League, and then they went on pushed on into coming second in the Premier League and fighting with Man City. This is another season where Chelsea have finished, you know, below standard of 11th, yet next season they could go and win something, because they usually do. I can't remember the last time Tottenham didn't get into a European competition. I think it was something like 2009, and then in 2010 we got 4th under Harry Redknapp. So, and at that time 4th was good because Tottenham, you know, always were the 5th or 6th place team.
Well, I do agree. Yeah, I think Maddison thing, and I just want to ask the viewers something. Who is wearing the better kit out of me and Dan? Espanyol or Blackpool? Leave your comments in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. We really hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe. Check over our TikTok, which is here on screen at Sorare Capital for everything you want there, and also our Twitter at Capital Sorare. Hope you enjoy, guys. We will be doing more giveaways, so please again like and comment on all the videos, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.